Call Allah Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. This is Two True Judah, K.O.Y Israelites. Letting blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans know that we are the Israelites, the people, all right, the chosen, all right, and the children of the Most High God, Yahawah. We are gods on this earth. All right, tonight, man, we talking about the Mike Tyson fight. We're going to talk about Jimmy Barbecue. We're going to also talk about Putin and World War III, right? It's a lot of, interesting topics I would like to discuss, with this video, right? So when you look at Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson came on the scene in 1985, right? You can Google him, check him out. You can YouTube his old fights. You're going to see how he was knocking opponents out, in the first round. When you Google him, it says he made his professional fighting debut in 1985. In 1985, that's the same year, my brother was born, low-key. Then he says, and proceeded to win his first 19 bouts by knockout. So he started fighting. I believe he was he became professional. He was 18, I believe, right? And then his first 19 fights was all by knockout, with 12 of those bouts not making it out of the first round. So 12 out of 19 fights, he would knock him out in the first round, right? He's 57 years old right now. Says he was born in June 30th, 1966, a year younger than my mother, right? It says Tyson ended his boxing career with a record of 50 wins, 44 KOs, 6 losses, and 2 no contests. His 2 wars with Evander Holyfield in the fights against Lewis, Buster Douglas, and Michael Spinks are among some of the most remembered ones, right? I was about 6 years old when that Mike Tyson Holyfield fight, happened, right? When Mike Tyson bit off the ear of Holyfield, and that's, believe, the same fight. That same night, Tupac got killed, on Flamingo in Las Vegas, right? So there's a lot of historical moments when you look at Mike Tyson. There's a lot of, his name is waiting to go, right? So who is he fighting, right? He's supposed to be fighting a YouTube sensation, white boy, an Edomite, a devil, right, named Jake Paul. He go around fighting all the retired, black fighters. And I believe also a lot of that shit be rigged. You feel me? When you look up the definition of rigged, it says pre-arranged and fixed so that the winner is decided before the competition. That's like a WWF match. His brother, Logan Paul, is a WWF, wrestler, right? Or was on WWF. I don't follow the dude's career, but I seen him on WWF on YouTube. So they making money, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 50. A nation of fierce consciousness, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young, right? So remember, Mike Tyson was born on June 30, 1966. He's 57 years old, right? 57, right? Let's see how old Jake Paul is, right? Jake Paul is 27 years old, born 1997. Okay? Born 1997. A year after Tupac died, was killed, and Mike Tyson and Holyfield fought that fight in Vegas, right? Jake Paul. Now, this is information about Jake Paul. Jake Paul boxing record is 9 wins and 1 loss. All right, Anderson Silva, one of the greatest martial artists of all time, lost to Jake Paul, right? But how old is Anderson Silva? Anderson Silva is 48 years old, born April 14th, 1975, right? So now, he's not an old man, but he in that sport he is, right? So Mike Tyson's 57, Anderson Silva is 45. All right, Jake Paul is 27. All right, so when you go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 50, it says, a nation of fierce consciousness. That nation of fierce consciousness is the Edomites, the white people, right? They don't care about your age. They gun down babies and they gun down senior citizens, right? Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, right? What's the word for iniquity, right? Let's look up the definition real quick, right? For the word iniquity. Iniquity, Strong's Concordance, KJV. Alright, so it says Strong's number H5771 is translated as iniquity. Alright, it's in the Bible 220 times. Punishment, right? Times, fault, right? Iniquity, right? Sin, mischief, right? So it means, our punishment. So when we go back to the scripture, it says Ezekiel 35:5, because that has had a perpetual hatred, meaning the white man always hated our people, right? The Edomites, Esau, always hated Jacob, which is blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and it has shed the blood of the children of Israel. They shed our blood day and night. They gun us down in the streets. They poison us. They throw us into prisons, right? They kill us mentally and physically, right? They can't do it spiritually, and that's why they do that, right? By the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, right? In the time that their iniquity had an end, right? It was a time where we was trying to keep the statute, laws, commandments, right? But we were still sinning, and that's when they went after us, right? Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thy own understanding. So, you gotta understand, you can't lean into your own understanding when it comes to these white Edomite devils, right? Like Adam 22, right? Putting out homosexual pictures and saying he's not a homosexual. I'm talking about it was the 4th of July. My bad. It was an April Fool's prank, right? He says April Fool's prank while posing in pajamas with another gay dude, right? You got to understand, you feel me? These white people are wicked, all right? Their imaginations, their spirit, you feel me? That everything that you can think of and phantom of is wicked to the core about them, right? This is why, they think like this. Their mind is not even down. Their mind is not even, capable of being righteous, right? So it says, former weight champion Mike Tyson said he's scared to death of his upcoming fight against social media star turned boxer Jake Paul. Iron Mike told Fox News channel Sean Haney on Tuesday night that whatever I'm afraid to do, I do it. Anything I'm afraid of, I confront it, he said. So it says, right, so Mike Tyson, he's scared to death of this damn devil, right? But he's trying to conquer his fear. But the thing is, Mike Tyson is damn near an atheist as well, right? So right now, to me, this is a motherfucking 50-50 bout, right? 50-50, right? And the reason if Mike Tyson was a man of the Lord, right, I say it's 100% guaranteed that Mike Tyson gonna knock out, Jake Paul, right? He gonna knock him out, right? But I'm saying 50%. It's a 50-50. 50% he can knock him out. I don't like Jake Paul at all. But it's two things that I'm thinking about. It can be rigged, right? Which would be a reason he didn't knock him out, right? Or could be a reason, right? And not only that, Jake Paul's younger, right? 27 years old, right? But the thing with Mike Tyson, the only reason I feel like he's a threat, and then he can also lose this match is because his past posts and videos, right? Mike Tyson support the homosexual community like a mug, right? Was willing to disrespect Little Bootsy, all right, because Little Bootsy is against that community, right? And not only that, this dude loved the hell out of some white people, some Edomites. Like real talk, he loved the hell out of some Edomites, right? And then he goes against the Most High, so that can cause him to lose that battle, right? But on the other side of it, he's Judah, right? The Most High, he gifted Mike Tyson with the hands, right? Psalms 144, the Most High, he teach our hands for war and our fingers to fight, right? So it's a lot of things, and not only that, Genesis 25 tell you that Jacob is stronger than Esau. So it's a lot of ways, but the Most High can take away, his power away from individuals and have a midget whoop their ass. Just like how our people went to slavery, right? The Most High took that power away while we was at war. That's the only way we got conquered, right? But it says, this fight can't go any way. Yahawah can't favor him or cause him by cursing him to lose, especially with Mike's thoughts on homosexuality and his love for white people. Mike Tyson is just like The Rock Johnson, a strong muscle sellout who doesn't cherish his own people, all right, which is blacks in America, the tribe of Judah, right? So a lot of this stuff can go different ways. It can go either way. I do think, what it says right here, is my thoughts. I have been wondering, would Jake Paul call out? Oh yeah, that's a good point right there. So Jake Paul's calling out all these old people, right? Old niggas, and a lot of these old niggas will whoop a lot of average niggas. You feel me? Real shit. But they're not gonna whoop a person that's trained and built just like they are at a younger age. You feel me? They're not. They're fighting a younger version of themselves, right? Majority of the time. But when you look at there's a lot of crazy boxers out right now, right? Deontay Wilder. He didn't call out Deontay Wilder, right? He didn't call out Anthony Joshua, right? Shit, he didn't even call out Javante Tank Davis. You feel me? And they two different weight classes. But he's calling out the older individuals because he feel like they're weak. But, Mike Tyson can give him a run for his money, like no doubt, right? Like, but he's not going to call out nobody of his age peers, right? Another thing too, right? There's somebody named Jimmy Barbecue, right? Jimmy Barbecue is a Haitian general, right? I'm gonna say Haitian general, right? Is a reason why I say Haitian general, right? He's the leader of the revolutionary force of the G9 family and allies, right? So he's the leader of the revolutionary forces of the G9 family and allies, right? There's propaganda on this brother. He's a Haitian. He's not Judah, but he's a Levite. He's our brother, right? Here, he kind of remind me of Maccabees, right? All the brother need to do is, come back to the laws, right? And it'd be a wrap, right? But they trying to label him as a gang leader throughout all the news outlets. They start to say he's a gang leader. He's defiant. He's defiant. He's a hooligan. Why? Because they're trying to take away all the minerals, right? and all the resources from Hades, right? From Haiti. They want to slack it from Hades. They want to take it all away. Shit, it is. I said Hades, but it's Haiti. But it is Hades because it's hell down there, right? Like, it's an ironic name, right? But they want to take away all the gold and the Iridon. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Let me see how you pronounce that shit. It says Iridine. Yeah, Iridine. Right? It's a mineral that helps create batteries, right? And it's a lot of it. I believe they found over $200 billion worth of it out there, right? In resources alone. Gold as well, right? It, it's very rich out there, but they don't do business with the Haitians. And there's nations that's trying to take their resources and barbecue. That's his name, right? His name is Barbecue, right? He a real nigga. He's on some shit where he's not going to let that happen, right? He's gathering up soldiers throughout Hades, right? And they've been raising hell on all of the sellouts, right? From what I'm hearing, right? This is what, what I've been checking out, right? I'm going to actually go to a clip of him. It's deep, man. They don't talk about this. It's a lot of distractions going on, right? That Diddy shit, right, is even a distraction. And that nigga wild, but they know what cards to play. You feel me? To hypnotize the masses.
This place is so weird. It's the Twilight Zone.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on?
Sure.
Look at the tops of the buildings.
Hey, no, this movie supposed to be really lit too.
We're just passing through. We're American. What kind of American are you?
We're going to D.C. before anyone else does. That's the job. You're so close.
Civil War.
Right now, on these streets, he is in charge. Barbecue, they call him. Jimmy Chirice, the leader of a collective of gangs, street fighters who have effectively pulled off a coup.
Today we are telling the international community to give Haiti a chance. We Haitians have to decide who is going to lead.
So he's speaking to the international community, right? The UN, whoever's listening, right? To give Haiti a chance. So he got to plead for them to give him a chance. He's really talking to these European and Asiatic nations, right?
And what model of government we want.
He was reacting from the streets to the resignation of the Prime Minister, prevented from returning to his own country, forced to step down.
He's making sure that Prime Minister of the Haitian government doesn't return because that Prime Minister was doing deals with the white devils, right? The Edomite devils.
In neighboring Puerto Rico. The government I am running, he said, will remove itself immediately after the establishment of a transitional presidential council.
So he's waiting for a new president to be president or prime minister over the Haitian government, right? Until then, his force is going to be out, and actually, it should be like that because it's a lot of wickedness without righteous protectors, right?
The images from the past week reflect this slide into chaos. At the approach road to the country's main airport, they run for cover.
They're running for cover because they're fighting, wicked forces, right? The leader of the revolutionary forces of the G9 family, the G9 family, right? They're fighting wicked forces, right? They got gunshots going off everywhere, people running and ducking everywhere, right? And you don't think that's going to happen to America, but let's keep going.
He still controls it, but it remains closed to flights. No way to escape, no aid coming in. The seaport has reportedly reopened after government forces pushed gangs back, but at a cost. The number of dead and injured continues to rise.
Looking at an old lady shot. You know what I mean? That's how wicked their government is, right? But it gotta be a resistance to fight off the wickedness. And sometimes it may be casualties, right?
The US Secretary of State joined an urgent meeting of regional leaders in Jamaica this week, a collective effort to install a transitional government and a path to elections. And at the US State Department, the spokesman hinted at the big concern for America.
But certainly we have seen a very unstable security situation, and we know that what often happens when you have an unstable security situation, as you reference in the question, is an increase in people attempting to flee the country.
So now they're like, you know what, your country, your government is so out of control. America feel like they should step in because they feel like the Haitian citizens gonna go to America, right? And America fear that. But wasn't America just giving Ukraine billions of dollars, and they was letting all these Europeans come into America when they was going to war with Russia? Like, real talk, you know, like you gotta really pay attention. A couple, 2-3 years ago, when the Haitians tried to come to Texas, right, there was Edomite KKK members on horses whipping the Haitians in their back as they was traveling with their children.
It is the alignment of rival gangs together fighting government forces which has prompted this latest turn for a country that's been failing for years. These are images from a gang leader's drone, spotting government military vehicles, tracking the movement of an army from the air. And this is a moment from last week's prison break when gangs freed thousands. Government forces on the roof, again, gangs spotting their target.
It's going real crazy. The Haitian government, has prison breaks going on, rioting, you know, pandemonium in the streets, chaos, martial law. You know, they don't talk about none of this shit on the media, right? But as soon as somebody's actually, there's a resistance there, right? They want to call them gangs, right? So you got to understand, you know, the Haitians are actually the priests of the Most High, right? They are from the tribe of Levite. They are from the tribe of Levite, right? A lot of the stuff is going to happen, you know, to the other tribes as well, because this stuff been going on, you know, in the DR, you know, in Puerto Rico and Jamaica and Mexico, right? A lot of stuff going on. The nation, the Israelite communities and nation and hometowns are being regenified, right? Genification is at its alarming rate right now. It's not just going on in South Central LA or San Francisco or Oakland. It's going on in Jamaica, you know, the DR, Puerto Rico, and also in the Haitian government, right? Like, some other news, right? So, you know, Putin, right, 2 weeks ago, he threatened NATO, right? He threatened NATO with World War III, of World War III.
Results of the Russian presidential election are out. Vladimir Putin has won by a landslide. This victory essentially secures him another 6-year term in office, meaning that he will serve as the Russian president until 2030. But none of this is surprising. What is surprising is just how casually Putin warned of a potential World War III during his victory speech. During his address to the press, Putin was asked whether a full-scale conflict between Russia and NATO is possible, and this is how he responded. Listen to it for yourself.
I think that anything is possible in the modern world, but I have already said this, and it is clear to everyone that this conflict between Russia and NATO will be just one step away from a full-scale World War III. I don't think anyone is interested in this.
So he's saying this conflict with Russia and NATO is, you know, is one step away from going into World War III. People don't know how dramatic and tragic World War III is going to be, because it's going to happen according to the Bible. You know, it got to happen, right? But you know how many people's dying off of one nuclear missile, right? Just one, hundreds of thousands, right?
So,
Anything is possible. That is the Russian leader's statement. Putin categorically states, if the current hostilities between Russia and the NATO extend into an actual war, the world would be one step away from World War III. He quickly points out, no one wants such a scenario. Now, his remarks come after the French President Emmanuel Macron made his comments on the war. Macron appeared more hawkish on Russia recently. This week, he said France must ensure that Russia does not win the war. Last month, he said that the NATO could not rule out deployment of ground troops in Ukraine. Can you imagine what that would look like if the...
So they talking about, France is talking about they don't want Russia to win the war. They're trying to insert themselves, you know, in war talk, right? All right, and so what's being witnessed 2 weeks ago, let's do this. Matthew 24 KJV. So Matthew 24 verse 6, right? It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, right? So you don't hear of wars and rumors of wars, but don't be troubled, right? Because you got to have the faith of the Most High, right? For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So the end is not yet, right? This is just the beginning of the end, right? For nation shall rise against nation. What did France president say about Russia? Right? We got to make sure they do not win the war. This says, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines, all right, and pestilence, right? It's a food shortage going on, right? And it's going to be more and more, right? Especially as war starts to develop, because war costs money. And it says, and pestilence. They're going to be, you know, all type of diseases going around. You feel me? When it's a famine, it's not just the food shortage, soaps, tissues, all that. It's a famine in the land, right? Then it says, and earthquakes in diverse places. So it was just an earthquake, I believe, in Asia, right? Yesterday, killing hundreds of people, right? So we're gonna go back to the video.
NATO puts boots on the ground to help Ukraine, to directly fight the Russian forces. Let me tell you, a full-blown catastrophe. And Putin is right. No one wants that. And this is why Allied leaders have distanced themselves from the French president's suggestion. Just to be clear, there is no consensus in the NATO about sending troops, at least at this stage. Ukraine has also not asked allies for soldiers. US President Joe Biden, in fact, has made it very clear America will not send troops to fight in Ukraine. Finally, no Western government has scrambled to send troops, and that's because the NATO fears going to war with Russia. But the Russian president has no doubts. He says fighters from NATO states are currently present on the ground, helping Ukraine.
Hey, so you got to understand, right? The Most High got the spirit within Putin right now, right? To really go to war. He got a warmonger spirit within him, right? Because this type of war ain't normal, right? This war can kill millions of people. Right, he know his own people can die, right? So there gotta be a divine spirit within Putin, right? And it's also the Most High is controlling Biden, right? Just like he controlled Trump, right? If you really pay attention to movies, you can really see and feel how the story's going, and you know the story before it actually, happens, right? And that's the same thing with life, and it's also the same thing when you looking at the prophecies in the scriptures, right? Proverbs 21:1 says, matter of fact, we do this. Proverbs 21:1, it says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahawah. As the rivers of water, he turneth it wherever soever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. So back to 1, right? The Most High, he controls the king's heart, right? It's in the palm of his hand, and he controls it like the streams of water going down a river that goes to different paths. The Most High, that's how he controls the mind of the king, right? Like real talk. So when you go to Exodus 7 and 13, it says, and he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said, right? So the Most High, he can harden a king's heart, a mind. Your heart is your mind according to the scriptures. So when the Most High hardened the Pharaoh's heart, he hardened his mind, right? Pharaoh thought he was thinking something or doing something when it's the Most High who planted that seed within him. Sometimes the Most High will have you fail just because, he know you wicked. All right, Isaiah 6:16 says, for by fire and his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Right? The slain of the Lord by fire, man, and by sword, right? That's thermonuclear missiles touching down and killing people, right? The Most High is planning to destroy this place, right? Look what's going on, right? Like, you can break down the wicked of Esau on every level, from hip-hop to religion to politics to sports, and you can see how it affects our people in each and every level, right? But I'm gonna say, call Allah Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, the chief face of K.O.Y, letting blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans know that we are the Israelites. Shalom.